Assalamu alaikum. Welcome back, dear brother or sister. Today we are at day 7 of the Arabic starter sprint. And what I want to get started with first is do a quick recap of what we have done so far. Because mashallah, we have already covered a lot in the last 6 days. We have made quite some progress. So let's quickly go through everything that we have done. All right, so I'm going to my whiteboard and let's see what we have done. So this is the method, of course, that we are using, Qaidah Nooraniyah. Of course, Bismillah, the first thing that we have done was the Arabic alphabet, al-huruf al-hijaiyah. I think by now you are already familiar with most letters, let's say 90%. Sometimes you make a small mistake between the jim and the ha, maybe, or the ta and the dha. These are small mistakes and it's completely fine. Then we looked at connecting the letters together because then the shapes change. We have done that as well. And I think that is already quite, by now you already mastered that as well, quite good. Then we have looked at al-huruf al-muqatta'a. So if you see this symbol, the red wave on top of a letter, that means you have to extend this letter for, let's say, 5 or 6 seconds. So in this case, you have to do it for 6 seconds. Of course, then we looked at the movements, something called harakat. Harakat, that means that the letters start to move. So we have 3 kinds of harakat: fatha, the first one; kasra, the second one; and the damma. The damma is the small wow on top of the letter. We have practiced with that as well. And then we have looked at the tanween. So we have also 3 kinds of tanween: fathatin, 2 fatha on top; kasratin, 2 kasra on the bottom; and dammatin, 2 damma. We have also seen that if you have fathatin, then you get an alif. There is the friend of the fathatin is al alif. And as you see, for example, here at the noon, you get a noon alif because the noon has a fathatin. Then we of course practice with what we did all the time. So the letters, the fathatin, the fatha, the dammatin. So this is lesson number 6, الدرس السادس. And that was actually the first time that we really put everything together. I think it was during lesson 4 or 5 that we have practiced with this. After that, we looked at the alif saghira, the ya saghira, and the waw saghira. It was a short lesson. And then درس التاسع, so lesson number 9 in green here. We have here the practice that we have done as well. We have practiced with these words. And now we arrive at level at درس التاسع. This is where we will continue today. Sukoon. That is called a Sukoon. And I think I already told you last lesson that we will be looking at that today. This symbol, this sign is a Sukoon. How do you pronounce a Sukoon? You don't pronounce it at all. A Sukoon means that the letter is at rest. So for example, what is here written down? This is called alif, and then the ba. So the ba has a Sukoon, so we call it ab, ab. This ib, ub, at, it, ut. Okay. So if the letter has a Sukoon, the letter is at rest and you don't pronounce anything at all. It is just at rest. For example, here, if we look at the Sukoon, if we compare the Sukoon with the 3 movements. So the Sukoon, first of all, means that the letter is at rest, while a movement, a haraka, means the letter is moving. Like we already have seen here, a, I, u, an, in, un. Ja, ji, ju, jen, jin, jun. La, li, lu, lan, lin, lun. Ta, ti, tu, tan, tin, tun. But what if we compare this with, for example, a jim? For example, we see here the jim with the fatha. The jim has here a fatha, so it's called ja. If the jim has a sukoon, then it's called j. J, that's it. No ja, ji, ju, j, that's it. So for example, let's see at the ba, for example. What is mentioned here? Baytun. So ba and the ya has a sukoon and the ta has a dammatin. So we saw bay, the ba, baytun. But if the ya, for example, has a haraka, we have the same, but the ya here has, for example, the waw. And the ba has also the waw. So then we call it buyut. So this is you. The ya with the dhamma is you. and the ya with the sukoon is yi. Maybe you already noticed there are two kinds of sukoon, and they are exactly the same. Like a small ha here, you see on the right side, this is also sukoon, this is ha, and the sukoon on this form. But the most common used in the Quran is the one on the left. And they are exactly the same thing. So that's all for today. Tomorrow we are really going to practice with the sukoon in words. So I hope to see you tomorrow, inshallah. Assalamu alaikum.